What is good, everyone? How's everyone doing? I hope everyone had a good fantasy weekend. Hopefully, you guys came out of week one with the dub. The Crooked Commish, I went 2-2. Thanks for asking. So, hopefully, this week I'll be able to go 4-0 in all my fantasy leagues. But right now, what I got to do is the same thing that everyone else has to do. Check to see what kind of waiver wires went through, which ones were successful, which ones were not. The ones that are not, after that, we got to check the free agent list and see who we can scavenge. So if you're in that boat, let us know. Put it in the chat. We'll be happy to help you guys out. By we, of course, I do mean my co-host, the Mouse from the Bay, along with the returning guest, Mike Tipton from the Tipping Point, is back to chop it up with us and talk some fantasy as well. So what else do we have to talk about? Oh, yeah, a lot of injuries. Like I said, a lot of injuries. So no bye weeks to get into, but other than that, we'll chop it up and talk about who you should start, who you should not start, who's in your flex. So let us know, and we'll help you out. So grab a drink, and let's go.
Chicago Clubhouse Network. Crash out, this a crash course, no lecture. Lay hat, keep a signal caller under pressure. Check the stats, finna up the score for the record. Chicago Clubhouse Network. Crash out, this a crash course, no lecture. Lay hat, keep a signal caller under pressure. Check the stats, finna up the score for the record. Introducing first, he the Crooked Commish, making sure it's understood that he him. Next up, he the Mouth from the Bay, dynamic duo. Hit you with an ounce of that game, they make you bow face and salute the truth. Curve all the blase, blind the whoop-de-whoop. On the path to the bag, got that money and the power. They gon' ball every fantasy football hour. Got them sour, these hacks can't hack it. Meanwhile, they on point like a cactus. Want smoke and get smoked like some cat piss. If you can't be good, then maybe good at it. Ay, Chicago Clubhouse Network. Crash out, this a crash course, no lecture. Lay hat, keep a signal caller under pressure. Check the stats, finna up the score for the record. Chicago Clubhouse Network. Crash out, this a crash course, no lecture. Lay hat, keep a signal caller under pressure. Check the stats, finna up the score for the record.
Welcome back to the show. And like I said, let's get into it. I'm, of course, your boy, the Crooked Commish, here to help you guys out every single week, every single Wednesday night here at the Chicago Clubhouse Network to try to get us back to the championship game. Maybe I'll see you there. Maybe we'll split the cash. Maybe we'll play for it all. Who knows? But we got to get there first. So before we get started, let me go ahead and just acknowledge some of the guys in the chat. Thank you for joining. Please do not forget to hit the thumbs up button and help us get to 1,400 subscribers by the end of the year. Excuse me, that was a fumble right there. Yeah, we're trying to get to 1,400 subscribers by the end of the year. So we're around 1,330. So we need like 70-ish or 70 on the nose there to get to 1,400. And, I don't think that's that undoable there. So we got a few months still and a whole lot of fantasy football to talk about. So if you could do us a solid and share the link, we would be in your good graces. So, but Lee, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate it. And Jay Grizz, my man, good for you to check in with us. Bear down. God, I'm trying to forget that game. We're on to week 2. We're on to week 2. All right. We just got to move on and stop dwelling on it. But me and Jay Grizz just completed a trade in one of the leagues that we're in. We'll get into that a little later, kind of talk about which players were exchanged. It is kind of up for vote, but it's going to go through. So I don't see why it wouldn't. But before we get into it here, and I get my co-host and guest in here, let's go ahead and look at some of those pesky injuries that I was talking about earlier in the intro. So let's see. So some of the key injuries that happened this week was Xavier Worthy dislocating his shoulder. He is projected to be out about 3 weeks, or projected to come back around week 4. So Hollywood Brown, if he's in the free agent list, he would be one of those key pickups. So hopefully you were able to get him. Let's see. And then in the tight end position, we have Brock Bowers. He is also didn't have a huge injury. They said it was his knee, but he looks like he should be good to go for week 2. So, but just continue to monitor that situation. Make sure it doesn't get any worse during the practice at all. So another tight end that got hurt was George Kittle. Unfortunately, he hurt his hamstring. He is expected to return week 6. So go ahead and get his backup out there. Or guys like Ricky Pearsall will definitely get a bump up there in targets. Receiver Drake London injured his shoulder. He should be good to go, but he may miss a week. So he is day-to-day, so you guys need to watch that situation as well. Chris Olave, again, got hurt his ribs. He should be able to be good to go for week 2. But with the rib injuries, there's no telling how long that could keep him out. It's just a pain management thing, unfortunately. Next on the injury list is Puka Nacua. He suffered a concussion, but he did return to the game and should be good to go as well. Jawan Jennings hurt his shoulder. He is day-to-day. He may be good to go for week 2. If not, he may miss a week or 2. And then we have tight end Evan Ingram, injured his calf. He is expected to miss a few weeks and be good to go week 4. Brock Purdy hurt his shoulder and his toe, but should be good to go for week 2. And then lastly, Will Shipley, running back for Philadelphia. He fractured his ribs, so it's a bit more of a serious injury and could miss up to 4 to 5 weeks. So those are the key injuries that happened in week 1. Hopefully none of those guys are your guys, but if they are, like I said, hopefully your waiver wire claims were successful. And if not, like I said, let us know. So with that out of the way, let me go ahead and get my co-host in here. He is the loudest mouth in fantasy football. That's why you hear him from Bay to Bay, and that's why we call him the mouth from the Bay. What is good?
What's going on, everybody? What's up? It's good, brother. It's good to be back. Good to see you, man. Definitely got hit with some of them injury bugs on my squad. You know, that comes down to it right now. Is just those bench guys gonna have to come in and be productive week 2. You know, I went 2-2 as well. I mean, I kind of got hit by a couple of last second. You know, the Aaron Jones touchdown. Frankie Tank ran me down, bastard. But it's one of those things, man. Just like you go down to the fourth quarter and you just hope that one guy doesn't get that catch. And unfortunately, I got a couple guys get that catch. So I went from sweeping to going 2-2. So that is what it is. It's fantasy's back and it's back to freaking screen with the TV and then looking at your phone and be happy as hell. You know, depending on what game you're watching, what's going on, you never know how your mood's going to change from, not from hour to hour, but from minute to minute.
No, for real. These are the headaches that we've been asking for the last few months here when there's been no.
Yeah. We waited 7-8 months, so we're so happy, and then week 1 comes, and then I'm already tired of this shit.
I was like, why do I do this to myself? One year we'll learn, but not this year. So,
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and get our guest of the evening here. We tried to get him on, I think, last week at some point because his team went through a big breakup. And unfortunately, the team that benefited from that breakup was the team I hate the most in the Green Bay Packers. But real life stuff happened and was keeping him at bay. So he was able to make it this week. We definitely got to get his opinion on his loss of Micah Parsons. So let's go ahead and get him in. Mike Tipton from the tipping point. What is good?
I mean, now I feel like you just brought me on here to remind me that Micah Parsons is no longer a boy.
I mean,
yes.
I mean,
No.
we are trying to get we are trying to get a viewer. We're trying to get an Eminem explosion over here. So I'm trying to say.
But like that's.
I didn't mean to rehash old wounds there, but I couldn't help myself. I'm the Crooked.
Oh no, it's okay. That's what we do up here because I'm about to rub it at both of you guys just for both your teams losing this week. So.
I mean, there's the Seahawks and Sam Darnold. I wouldn't be that excited about it. At least we lost.
Hey, it's a division. It's a division win. That's all I like. It's a division win. That's what I care about.
Yeah. But as much as Jake Moody tried to lose that game for you, you found a way to win.
Yes, exactly. I mean, it's like I said, it's a division win, and I love how that 12th man became an 11 and a half man because that faithful was all over that stadium. So.
That's the thing I love, especially like these early games and stuff. Because like even in Philadelphia, there was a lot of Cowboys fans there, man. Like those early games, as soon as you get the schedule, those fans travel, man. It's so much fun watching that. There's no home field advantage in week one.
Yeah, it's funny you say
especially for the Niners. They travel everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Well, definitely the bar that I went to go watch the Bears game on Monday night, even that one, for being a Bears bar, had a decent amount of Vikings fans, there to cheer on their team. So, like I said, they were pretty quiet, the whole first half, but they definitely got the last laugh at the end, unfortunately.
That fourth quarter got real loud.
You talk about like a guy looking bad for 3.5 quarters, and then out of nowhere he gets 21 points in the fourth quarter. Like JJ McCarthy. He's looking like an amazing quarterback right now, but the first 3 quarters of that game, he was bad, like objectively bad.
Yeah. Well,
what was crazy too, like the more I think about it, is we saw the kind of growth that we saw from JJ McCarthy in this one game is more than what we've been able to see out of Caleb Williams, like in the 20 games that we've seen from him.
I don't know, man. Caleb looked good in that first half.
I see a lot of mistakes that he's making still, holding on to the ball, that he's still kind of doing. So
yes, yeah. That's what scared me is like that first 15, 20 game, 15, 20 plays scripted, he looked great. But once that script went out the door, he looked like he reverted back to some old habits. And Ben Johnson's body language on the sideline, I mean, everybody's seen it. He looked like he was pissed almost like for the last hour and a half. Just wasn't hitting his, hitting his reads. He wasn't being on time and things like that. So, I mean, if he can duplicate that first quarter, second quarter, and kind of get that full game, I think Caleb might be onto something. But I mean, it is week one, but he definitely, when it comes up with 2 guys up from the same draft, and you got being compared to, because all those guys are going to be compared to for the next 5 years. So especially when you're going head to head in the division, you see each other twice. You can't let games that you're up by double, 2 scores in the fourth quarter and let those slide at home.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of that's going to come back on that Bears defense too. You all got to step up.
That's true.
And make a stop.
That's true. But I mean, if you get a couple guys on the outside and move a couple first downs, then that doesn't happen. So
I think
definitely team loss.
The one thing that I really didn't like about Caleb is like he tries to do the sidearm a little too much. Dude, just keep your normal throwing motion. Keep it up here, because I think it was he was trying to sidearm it to DeAndre Swift on the sideline, and Swift was like open, but he just airmailed that thing so far over his head. Like he's just got to keep his right motion going. You're not Patrick Mahomes. You got that magic.
Yeah, and I think part of the issue with that is like you said, the first drive was amazing. It was everything that we were hoping to see out of Caleb and the Bears offense there. But really after that, it didn't really do too much because, they had that pick six to get them at
pick six. Yeah, that pick six was,
but their offense really just scored that 10 points for that whole game until that 2-minute drive there, when they had to score. And it just felt like the Vikings made their little adjustments there to figure out what Chicago was doing, especially at halftime, and bottled them up completely, and they couldn't do anything. And then from there, Ben Johnson wasn't able to, or didn't make any adjustments, or by the time they figured out what he could do, it was too little too late, when they finally got a touchdown there. But the Bears defense, I think, definitely did get gassed because the offense kept going 3 and out. But
yeah,
it's weird to say that they got gassed when it's week 1 of the fucking NFL season. You would think you should be like,
no, I mean, they're going to get gassed because they didn't play.
They still, like 50, 60 plays on defense. You're going to get tired. You know what I mean? You're chasing people around, running everybody. You can get run into the ground. And then that's the big thing is Jordan Mason started going off. When Jordan Mason started going off is when that game changed, because Aaron Jones hadn't done shit the whole game. He didn't do nothing. He was the passing game, the running game. I don't think he had like 15 yards combined on both sides, the passing and catching. But Jordan Mason started getting loose and started breaking the Bears defense down, and then that's kind of opened up some passing lanes for Jefferson. Finally, woke up, and I think it was like one catch for 4 yards after the first 3 quarters. So I mean, believe me, I was playing him, so I was hoping he was going to stay that way. But I mean, that running game really, that running game opened up. So that's a interesting thing how things are going to go forward, knowing that Jordan Mason was very much the bell cow for that, that comeback.
And this is the thing, like I brought it up to the commish earlier that I wanted to get your guys' opinion on this. I was in the weird position where in one league I needed Aaron Jones to just suck so I could win, and in the next league I needed him to be great so I could win. And then what happened is he was just mediocre, and I lost him both.
I've definitely been in that position. I've definitely been there where I was like, I need my guy to do good, but not too good, because he's got me. That's one thing I hate is when you draft more than one draft with the same player. You know what I mean? Because it kills you when that happens, or or you in a multiple drafts. You know what I mean? Because I had that happen for me. Like I had Derrick Henry in one of my drafts, and the guy I'm gonna go up against, he had Derrick Henry. So luckily for me, I pounded him with the rest of my players, and it didn't matter that Derrick Henry was like 40 points. But it was definitely one of those situations I've been in with you plenty of times, my brother. Like I need my guy to blow up, then I'm like, I'm gonna lose either way. What the hell's going on with this?
So Tommy Cananza jumping in here saying, I'm in 7 leagues, dear Lord, and I have issues in every week. I mean, when you're in 7 leagues, you're
going
when do you have time?
That's some mixed emotions during that fucking weekend. Jesus.
When do you have time?
Tommy, I hope all your leagues are on one app.
Yeah, no kidding. It's like that's a lot of that's a waiver wire at night. That's a nightmare at night. When 12 o'clock comes around and you're trying to hit that waiver wire, that is a nightmare situation, because you can only get to so many leagues on time before someone else put the waivers in before you, or get the free agents before you.
Or you know what? Maybe he's like he's a fantasy football guru. Like he's got this thing down to a science, man. I was in 5 leagues last year, and 5 leagues was too much for me.
I'm telling you. Well, maybe he has like 3 screens. Maybe he had like 3 screens. You know what I mean? And he's like, he just going to town. I got a tablet, got my phone. I got 3 screens up, and I'm doing everything at one time. What power to you for 7?
He's got.
I had a cat mine of 4. I had a cat mine of 4. That was too much.
What were you saying?
I said he's got 4 different games on every screen. Just look at his
Yeah,
stuff.
I'm telling you.
He's got like a streaming service none of us have heard of. Like,
yeah, it's the fantasy red zone. It's the fantasy red zone. You got your players that are highlighted there.
So, yeah,
5-2 last week.
So,
I was he said he went 5-2. I want to see the proof.
5-2.
He went 5-2.
I was like, dang, okay. No kidding. That's some good drafting right there. I think, you know what I mean? Because after like 4 or 5, right, we were talking to guys last week. They're burnt out. Because usually you all wait till like the last weekend. Usually the last week, maybe 4 or 5 days to draft. So that's a lot of drafting in a short period of time.
Well, luckily
Jay
for
Grizz.
me, like the majority of my leagues are dynasty leagues, so like I'm good with that. Like, there's one league where I know this year we're in our rebuilding mode right now, so my money is just flying away. Like, I already know that. But like in one of my other leagues, it's a redraft. These MFers were dumb enough to let me get Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, and Derrick Henry all in the same draft.
Jesus.
Wow.
I'm like, and in that one, we actually so it's a high scoring league, right? Everyone else was just under 200 points. I was up at like 250. I am going to fuck this league, man. Like, it's going to be so much fun.
I love it.
So, like I said, we're talking about the injuries. What are some of the key injuries that you're dealing with on your team, Mouth?
Well, it's funny you bring up the dynasty. Losing Kittle on the IR is gonna. It would hurt, but luckily because we have such a deep bench and everything like that, like I'm able to just kind of do some mix and matching inside in Dallas Goedert, Jonnu Smith to kind of play with it. Plus we have not really a tight end spot in that league, so I got the wide receivers and the running backs I can throw in. So the blow is a little bit softened, but it's definitely hurting someone because he was one of my I think my first 5 picks that I picked up. So that one, him going down was definitely a little bit of blow because last week I scored the most points in that league, so I'm trying to definitely keep the momentum going.
Yeah, Mike, what injuries did you have to deal with in your fantasy leagues at all?
Honestly, the exact same thing, man. Like, I had George Kittle, and I think I'm in the same boat, right? Like, I got a deep tight end bench. Like, I got Sam Laporta, so this is like a tight end with like a flex where you could have a tight end, right? So like I use Sam Laporta and George Kittle in both. But I've also got Isaiah Likely. Like Hunter Henry has been really good on the bench for me sometimes. And then I got Fannin out of Cleveland as well, which got a ton of points. Like, I thought Njoku would be their number one guy. Fannin is like their number one.
That was a sleeper. That was a definitely sleeper pick. I that one I slept on that one myself. I did not see him getting that much run, especially with Joe Flacco, behind the center. It was 17 to 16 games. So for him to dominate that many touches and get that many good looks, that's definitely someone to look out for.
And then, like, what I also did is, like, I got Pearsall on my team as well. So, like, I know his targets are going to go up. So I just put him into that spot where George Kittle was. Like, I'm still looking at Isaiah Likely to see, like, more or less what to get out of him. I'm debating right now. The projections are that Pearsall is going to get more points. But you know how projections are, man. Like, they just changed so much. The one thing that I'm hoping on is that's New Orleans. New Orleans got a terrible defense. Pearsall's got to be able to get open against them.
Yeah, well, I was looking earlier today, and I know they were saying earlier today that what's his name might be hurt for the Niners quarterback. I just took a brain fart on that one, but Brock Purdy might most likely he's not going to play Sunday now. Most likely he's going to be Mac Jones. So that is definitely for my Niners is going to be a little bit upset alert because they're going in on an early game across country against New Orleans, but that kind of might cap Ricky Pearsall a little bit compared to, depending on what they want to do. Especially if Jennings is a little banged up, and they're bringing in a old familiar face in Kevin Bourne, so that might help out a little bit on the outside. Just kind of throw bodies at the at the fire, but that definitely hurts Ricky Pearsall if Mac Jones is the quarterback and not Brock Purdy.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, you just got to watch it right until we get to game day. That was also the thing that I was going to joke about too, right? Like, I had Brian Robinson Jr. and Ricky Pearsall. I was going to have the two dudes that have been shot on the same team. And then somehow someone traded a first-round pick for Brian Robinson, so I took that first-round pick.
I mean, you got. I mean, that's
sell them high. I mean, that's about as high as you could sell them for. So yeah.
Well, it was a first-round pick and Isaiah Likely, so I was able to get both those guys for.
Oh wow! I mean, I'm surprised. I would have vetoed that trade.
I was surprised it went through. I was so surprised it went through. I was like, all right, cool. We're letting this happen.
I'll tell you. I know we stopped video one of our old leagues because there was no trade that was going to go through no matter what it was. It could have been for a bag of chips and a soda pop, and it was getting vetoed.
So, speaking of trades, we'll get into the trade that recently went down in one of my leagues between myself and Jay Grizz. But real quick, I want to acknowledge Tommy here. He says, "I'm deadly with this shit, Jake." Yeah, I bet you are with that 5-2 record. That's nice. Training day. We need you. Like I said, we need you on here for some training day. Then Jay Grizz, I'm glad I'm in sleeper now because I've seen the alert that James Cook was limited in practice today due to a hamstring. Ran to the waiver wire as quick as I could to pick up Ray Davis. Ooh, good old Ray Davis. And then Yahoo didn't send me no notification. Yeah, that may have been my fault there. I'm trying to win this damn league here. So
he's like, I'm sending no notifications.
What notifications? But anyways, the trade that Jay Grizz and I did complete here was Zach Charbonnet for Travis Hunter. So it's just a standard PPR league, so I don't get necessarily any defensive points, but unless it's a pick six or something like that. But can't really count on those. But
so who got Hunter? You got Hunter, or who picked you
I'm
up?
getting Hunter and trading away Charbonnet, who may be the lead back over in Seattle since he kind of had more carries than the K9 dog.
Oh, that's interesting. Because I guess they were saying something about Hunter today, going to kind of sprinkle in some more defensive snaps. So I mean, that kind of, you wonder how much it. I mean, the kid ran around everywhere in Colorado, but I mean, the NFL is a little different. So I mean, that's an interesting thing. Only because you worry about, I mean, load management for him. He's not a big guy, and so I mean, you can only go run around the defense so much, and then before he start getting that, that quad or that calf, or you get that shoulder dinged up, and then it kind of takes away from your fantasy on the offensive side because he's playing a little bit more defense.
Yeah, for sure. He's definitely not a big body guy, and the more that you're on the field, the more that you kind of bring up your risk for injury. So definitely that is in the
too, right? Like he's in like the perfect situation because he's not going to be relied on at all, right? Like there's other options in Jacksonville. He's good being the second or third option. So it's not like
that's a bad thing. That's a bad thing if you're in fantasy, though. You want him to get some targets. I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
For his team, it might not be a bad thing, but for Anthony, I think he wants to get him like 10 targets a game if he can get it.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think I would have done that trade. Like, I think I would have just kept Charbonnet, especially knowing that he might be the number one.
Yeah, well, I mean, Brian Thomas is definitely going to.
Too crazy about my receivers. So my two starting running backs were. He was in my bench right now, but my starting running backs were Kyron Williams and Omarion Hampton. So
you're all like, I wasn't too wild on my wide receiver, so I went out and got a dude that's going to play wide receiver part-time.
No, well, I'm expecting him to definitely get more targets on the offense there. He didn't seem like he was going to be a gadget guy with Jacksonville at all. Or be
I like it
on offense.
I like it. I mean, like, I hope that trade goes through. I like that trade. I mean, I hope I play you. Do I play you this week? I hope I play you this week.
Like I said, it's definitely a risk. Like I said, just because of how small he is and being on the field.
Yeah,
defense, one big hit and all of a sudden you're concussion protocol. So, but let's see. And Jake Rez was saying it's PPR. So yeah, that it is. So, but what were your big takeaways from week one of football and mouth and stuff between any of the games that you happen to see, since we kind of have the app there to kind of watch them all?
Honestly, that the Aaron Rodgers isn't look dead. I mean, I was all but sure. I mean, I'm clowning Neta like the whole time, right? How bad his team's gonna look, and that Justin Fields was back there schooling his ass for a few, for that first half, and then all of a sudden, Aaron Rodgers, you look up at 4 touchdowns and 260 yards, and it looked like they actually had looked like an offense. So, I mean, if that defense, it's the oldest defense in the NFL. So if that defense kind of just holds it together, then Pittsburgh actually might get close, because they were like 7-2 or something like that at the middle of last year before they kind of tanked it. So I mean, they had a good start last year before the wheels fell off. So I mean, that was kind of like a big surprise. I mean, and that was something that I didn't expect to see, and neither did I expect to see Daniel Jones go and look like Danny Dimes again. Did not expect this. I mean, it was against Miami's defense, but that was an old-fashioned ass whooping. So he definitely like Indiana Jones. The new no more Danny Dimes, is Indiana Jones now. I think that's what I call him, Indiana Jones. So that's those are my 2 big takeaways right there.
Can I ask you guys then, if you were, say you're one of these guys that has a Brock Purdy and he's not going to play this week, who do you kind of trust more between in the free agent wire, between if you had Aaron Rodgers, Danny Dimes, or Justin Fields there were available in free agent list? Which one?
I'm taking Justin Fields just because he's so versatile. Like the amount of run. I guess Danny Dimes is kind of in that same boat. Like he got you 2 rushing touchdowns and stuff like that. But I feel like if those are your 3 options, you're not going wrong anywhere with those 3, right? Like those. Like I'm in the same boat with the mouth, right? Like I thought Rodgers was done. I was dancing on his grave. I was drinking ayahuasca, seeing his spirit fly away from him. That dude is done. And then he comes out here and just drops a bomb on our head. 4 touchdowns, 250. Like it was a master performance. The question is, can he keep that up, right? Like Pittsburgh's offensive line, maybe they played a little better that day. It's a revenge game, so to speak, right? Pittsburgh's defense is going to be bad. Like I was also surprised by the Jets. Like they can run the ball, man. If you got Braylon Allen or even Breece Hall, you are happy right now because this team is going to run the hell out of this ball. And then along
Tommy
with
doesn't
Miami,
think so.
I don't think it's so hard to say that's going to last all season, right? But it's still a good story right now. Like at least that is still a good story. Miami's defense being really bad, but the team that I was, I guess, disappointed in the most was Cincinnati. Like you go into Cleveland, you got to put a hurting on the Browns, man. Jamar Chase was like nowhere to be seen. Like it didn't look good for Cincinnati. And you put all that money on offense, dude, you got to start performing. 17 points against Cleveland ain't it. Like that's just not it.
No, I agree.
They definitely survived that game.
They should have lost that game.
Jamar Chase was definitely a fantasy killer in week 1. He was one of those guys that killed you, along with Cooper Kupp, along with there's a few other ones there. That
I mean, if you were relying on Cooper Kupp,
fantasy killer.
If you're relying on Cooper Kupp, you got a problem.
No, but I mean, if you played him in your flex, he definitely didn't help you at all. Yeah. Like he didn't.
T. Higgins was another one because I had Joe Burrow going for me, and he almost lost me the week. I mean, it was bad. Like Mike says, it was pretty bad. Like to see them go out there, you put that much money into the offense and to go out there and not really, Chase Brown didn't look good, Joe Burrow didn't look good, T. Higgins didn't look good. Like no one on the offense side, came to play. And the weird thing is that the defense actually won kept them in the game and won the game for them. Who would have thought that week 1?
So Jay Grizz is thinking that Fields will finish as a top 10 QB. If he stays healthy and keeps on running touchdowns in, yeah, definitely, maybe even top 5 out of nowhere. But
well, that's the thing, right? Like he's also like the Lamar Jackson style quarterback where he's going to run, he's going to get you passing yards. Yeah. Like he brings such a different dynamic to that offense that
he's also a touchdown vulture. He's a huge goal line touchdown vulture.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're in the 5, there's almost 100% chance of doing a bootleg, and he's probably going to either run for the pylon or be naked. Like him, Josh Allen, and Lamar Jackson, like they killed their. I mean, James Cooks had 16 touchdowns, and so did Derrick Henry last year. But both of those guys could have had so much more. Same thing with Jalen Hurts and Saquon. Those guys are huge touchdown vultures when it comes to being inside the 5. So I mean, that's something that's actually a good thing for Justin Fields if you have him, because even if he's not throwing for anything and they're running the ball down there, he's going to get 1 or 2 cracks at it himself. So I mean, either he throws it or he runs it.
So Jay Grizz was also saying Jamison Williams didn't have a good game, and neither did Jahmyr Gibbs. Did not look good as well.
That's another one.
Detroit offense looked.
Yeah, the whole Detroit offense was bad. It's shaky. They look off.
Yeah. So I guess Neighbors may be dealing with some sort of back injury. I know he didn't have a good game. Waddell Robinson had a decent amount of targets and catches there. But from what I saw, Neighbors was double covered pretty much all of the whole game.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I think right now that until they change the quarterbacks or something happens, like anybody on the Giants offense is going to be volatile. I mean, I had Tyrone Tracy. It was the same thing. Like, I mean, there was just, I had a guy in front of me at Hooters, and it was funny because he was sitting next to a Washington Commanders, one of his buddy, and he was just going off. And then, like, the one thing is like, we do this every year, like, so it was just he was ready to get rid of Wilson, like in like about the second quarter, he was already done with them. You know what I mean? So honestly, until Jackson Dart gets a start, whenever they decide to start him, it's going to be really hard to stick with anybody on the Giants.
Dude, I feel like even if they do start Jackson Dart, it's not going to be the answer to it because the only thing you have on offense is Neighbors, right? You double Neighbors all game, stack the box against the running game. Who else do you have to worry about there? Like Robinson ain't like that's
he's not beating you. Right.
But with the Jackson Dart's athleticism kind of opens up a little bit more of the offense. And he's more willing to go over the middle of the field. At least that's what I've seen in preseason. Pretty much, if it ain't a bomb or Russell Wilson isn't throwing some little dink and dunk bullshit that he's missing half the time anyway, then the offense looks like it looked like in Pittsburgh. I mean, if he's not throwing something over the top and hitting a 40-yard bomb to somebody, they have no shot at offense. At least with Jackson Dart, there was some semblance of offense. Like everybody was getting the ball around, he was tossing the ball around, he was hitting his first or second reads and just letting the ball fly. That doesn't happen with Russell Wilson. He hasn't looked like that. One of the big things that I think Dan Orlovsky said it, he's like, once he gets the ball, first thing he does is look at the rush. He's not looking at none of his reads, not looking at none of his progressions. He's just looking at where these guys are coming to hit him. So, I mean, that right there alone tells you that, Russell Wilson might be washed.
Honestly, dude, I felt like the best option, like if you wanted fantasy points from the New York Giants, it would have been if Jameis Winston was a starting quarterback leading up to Jackson Dart, because Jameis is going to throw the ball.
That's exactly what I'm saying. He's going to fling it. You need someone to fling it right now. Yeah. And Russell Wilson, he's a one-trick pony right now. If it's not going for a big bomb, he's not sustaining a 12, 13 drive. He's not sending those big long drives. He's not moving the chains. He's not doing things. And that's what you want for your fantasy, especially PPR. You want Neighbors to get 7 or 8 catches for $120 and 1 touchdown. But if he's getting 2 catches for that 40 yards, that doesn't help you. Especially because for a lot of us, he's probably your first wide receiver off the board that you picked.
And that's what I'm saying. Like fantasy owners, like if you're a Cowboys fan that had CeeDee Lamb, you had to be upset because of the drop passes at the end of the game. But fantasy-wise, CeeDee Lamb did what you needed him to do because it was that dink and dunk. We're just going to give him the ball.
Yeah, exactly.
Take whatever we can. Yeah. Russell
Wilson give you that. He had like 10 catches, like damn near in the first half alone. So I mean, that's exactly what you want in our fantasy league. Might not help your the Dallas Cowboy team, but I mean, I really don't care anyway. So.
I hate that I love it.
So speaking of your team, with Parsons being traded over to Green Bay, unfortunately, like I said, I wasn't happy about that, having to see that guy 2 times every year now. But how do you think your team was able to kind of deal with a key player like that, no longer calling the shots on defense, and overall, how do you think that your defense looks being Parsons-less now?
I mean, it's a 1-game sample size. You would have liked to have seen a little more pressure on the quarterback, but like that's the thing with Jalen Hurts is you don't go straight at the quarter. You got to be in those zones, right? So as far as the Cowboys did, like for the most part, they were okay in their zones. I know at the end of the game, I think it was Fowler kind of got out of his zone, and that's what led Jalen Hurts to just go straight up the middle and ice the game for him, right? But the defensive performance the Dallas Cowboys had was kind of surprising, right? Especially in the second half. Like they were able to stop the run. They were able to kind of lock down those. A.J. Brown didn't catch a pass, right? Like that's wild.
Right. One. But I mean, don't want to say they have like I think 2 or 3 too. Like the wide receivers were non-existent in that game.
So like for me, I feel like it's a double-edged sword, right? Like you want to have a guy like Micah Parsons on your team, but the Green Bay Packers kind of gave everybody the blueprint on how you beat Micah Parsons. You just run right at his ass because he doesn't like respond well in the run game. And in the NFC North, you got teams that want to run the ball all the time. Like Chicago's going to run the ball. Detroit wants to run the ball. Minnesota, now especially with Mason, they want him to run the ball. And you just go right at Parsons. You kind of neutralize that, especially those weather games, right? Like, man, Green Bay gets cold. Chicago gets cold. That's where you run the ball. You just do all that stuff. So for me, it's like I think it's a good trade for both teams, but I don't think it really impacts the league the way that people are making it seem like it impacts the league, right? Like you're watching ESPN and they're like, oh my God, did you see Micah Parsons' performance? It was amazing. He had a tackle. Yes, it was a sack, but he had a tackle and 2 pressures on the quarterback. Anyone else does that, you're like, oh, okay, that's a decent game. But for Micah Parsons, it was like, oh my God, he changes everything. Everything is so.
It's like That's like 10 points in Dynasty.
Totally worth the
money.
money.
It's like 10 points for I mean, was that 47 million for 10 points in Dynasty? So that's
granted, yeah, like I said, he got me on that very limited action and work. He got me 11 points in the Dynasty League. So it's just seeing that, I'm just like, wow, 1 sack and a few pressures got that many points for individual. But
I was about to say, whoever is setting up those points is wild. Like a sack and 2 pressures get you 11 points. I need to be a part of this team.
Hey, Bosa got me like 20-something points for that fumble recovery. I love that one. That pushed me up a little bit.
What fucking league is this?
It's a cool thing. We're not even supposed to be talking about it. So
yeah, we don't talk about it. We can discuss it.
We're not supposed to talk about
it. We don't talk about it. It's like Fight Club.
So, yeah, I think we've broke rules 1 and 2 actually right now. So let's move on.
I didn't bring up no name. You brought up a name. I just said a league that I was in.
Am I going to get killed for being a part of this show? Like, is that what's going to happen? Like, the mafia is going to come down?
Well, Commish is about to get murked. He doesn't even know it. Now he's about to get people knock on his door. That knock on the door, like that's for him.
About to be decommissioned. Jesus Christ. Stay tuned live. Thank you for checking us out. Go Pack Go. Go pack me a lunch right now is what you can do.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something else. That felt like an invite.
Definitely not an invite.
It's not a 420. That is not a 420 circle.
So, but going forward, do you think your guys' defense in Dallas, like, how do you like an Eberflus? You know, like, do you feel confident with him being the defensive coordinator going forward? Or
I know you, along with a lot of other people, have told me that I need to be confident in him because as a defensive coordinator, he's good, right? But I still have in the back of my mind, you got fired on Thanksgiving. You know how bad you got to be at your job to be fired on the day that everyone's thankful for something? Like it's just that's what sticks out in my mind, right? Like, there's a reason why your goofy ass got fired on Thanksgiving. Obviously, he's not in charge of the clock. He's not in charge of any of this. I did see a lot more balance on the Dallas Cowboys defense. I think their secondary is towards the top of the NFL. Like, if you had Trayvon Diggs and DeRon Bland on your team, you would be happy with them as your secondary, right? It's just, to me, who's going to step up for the Dallas Cowboys to get to the quarterback? Because if you just have a pedestrian game, and we're going to see it against this Giants team, right? Someone has to step up and become that guy that gets pressure on the quarterback. With Jalen Hurts, I understand it, right? The game plan is you don't lose your contain. But with regular ass quarterbacks, if you're not all over Russell Wilson this week, then we've got some major problems that are going to have to be addressed.
I see some reports about Javon Clowney getting brought in to kind of see if they can bring somebody to come bring them, just get the little pressure. So I mean, I don't know how much gas he had left in the tank, but
just put him in on third and long. That's all you need him for.
Yeah. Definitely.
So
just
because isn't that what the Packers did with Julius Peppers for the longest time? They extended his career by 3 years because you just put him in on third down.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much what Joey Bosa is doing in Buffalo, and what a couple of other guys. I think what Khalil Mack is kind of on that same line right now. Von Miller. These are all kind of people that are just coming in on just pressure packing situations. And
hey, you know what? I'm going to give you guys. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of my tears. Like, I spent the first 10 minutes of the show drinking the Commish's tears about the Bears. Y'all didn't even see that I put the conversation right onto the Bears. But I'm going to give you a little bit of my tears. If you knew that you were going to trade Micah Parsons, like everyone said that the Cowboys knew back in March they were going to do this, right? Why didn't you go out and sign Von Miller whenever Von Miller was available? Whenever Von Miller was going to your facility, whenever Von Miller, who is from Texas, who grew up as a Cowboys fan, probably would have been a great homecoming for him. And instead, now you're in this weird purgatory of you don't have a pass rusher, like at least not one dude that you can say this is our legit pass rusher.
I mean, I got 2 words: Jerry Jones. That's Jerry Jones. Like, you guys wouldn't have been in the media. Like, there was if there was any kind of shortage of news, somehow the Dallas Cowboys got put forth. They're like first on Sports Center. They were first on talk radio. It was something that they said right away, like you said, somewhere in time in March, that if his agent wasn't going to be involved, that there was no deal. trade Micah. Micah Parsons' agent said that they waited 6 months later to go get a deal, do something like this. It's because Jerry Jones wanted to stay relevant during that whole time. He wanted clicks. It's basically clickbait. Because if that was the case, like I 100% agree with you. They should have got him out of there before the draft, done anything they could to, get anything better from a different team. Because I'm sorry, those draft picks are not going to be very high draft picks. Clark might be a nice run stopper, and do some little bit of things on the defensive line, but they gave up Micah Parsons basically because they didn't want to pay him because they were not smart and waited to pay him when they could have paid him somewhere around, Nick Bosa money and had him for at least 2 or 3 more years before he wanted another, bump in pay. But they waited, and now they couldn't afford to pay him. Quite honestly, it was addition by subtraction because they could not pay Dak Prescott to be the number 1 quarterback. You could not pay CD to be the number 1 wide receiver. I'm sorry, and then pay Micah Parsons to be the number 1, basically non-quarterback in the NFL. They could not do that because they would have no one else playing. Basically, it'd be them 3 playing football all day long.
And
they kind of had to do it.
And that's why I say, that's why I think the trade was beneficial for the Cowboys because it opens up cap for the future, right? Like now what it's going to do to Green Bay's window to me is this year because you got 19 free agents.
Absolutely.
You got 19 free agents coming up. And if you don't win it this year, them 19 free agents are walking because you got, 2/3 of your salary locked up in 3 dudes because Rashawn Gary's getting a ton of money as well. Yeah. Michael Parsons and now Jordan Love. Like it's not a good recipe, and it's strange for me that Jerry Jones actually had that kind of foresight, right? And I know Tommy Carranza is going to be like, you're giving this idiot too much credit, but again, ultimately at the end of the day, if you want to give him all the blame, you got to be able to give him the credit as well. If this is what he did, if this is how it was supposed to go, then cool. I hate hearing, I don't know if you all saw this, but Diana Rossini over at The Athletic, she reported that like the Philadelphia Eagles were offering the Dallas Cowboys everything.
Everything, yes.
And if I'm Jerry Jones, I'm not taking that deal because then it's Micah Parsons coming to your house twice a year, and I don't want that.
It's bad enough you got Barkley over there coming down. What I mean? Yeah. Going from the Giants to the Eagles. Last thing I want to do is go put Micah Parsons on the Eagles defenses. Definitely, I seen this with my Niners. Like you can only pay so many of your top people, top dollar for so long, and then you got to take a huge dead cap money. And like we got rid of Debo, we got rid of we couldn't keep Greenlaw, we couldn't keep Ufunga because you start paying your top people top money, and eventually the dead cap catches up to you.
Right. And I like what the Cowboys. I know that you said earlier, like those draft picks aren't going to be high draft picks. But the Cowboys have done really well in the draft, minus Mozzie Smith, which we can just get rid of that dude. Go the fuck on to somewhere else, guy. Like, you don't need to be in the NFL anymore. But, like, the Cowboys have done really well in the draft. So, like, even if it's high draft picks, I feel like they'll be okay, right? Like they've done well in the draft. So I've got confidence in them there. Also, I wouldn't put it past Jerry to package those draft picks with another draft pick and then wind up, like, trading for the rights of Johnny Manziel or some dumb shit like that because it's also Jerry Jones and he's a psychopath.
So, guys, we got a question coming in here that let's help this guy out here. I think it's Ezekiel Ruiz. So if I chop that up, I do apologize there. But it looks like he needs a tight end, and he's choosing between Tyler Kraft, Dalton Kincaid, Kyle Pitts, or Zach Ertz. Who would you take? Let's assume this is a PPR since most leagues are. So let's assume there, and then if we don't hear from it at all, we can look at it if it's a non-PPR and kind of see if your answer changes at all. So for PPR sake, let's who do you guys look at? Let me look at their matchups real quick. Just give me a second here. So
I'll give you my thoughts on this one too. And like Tommy Carranza hits the nail right on the head. Zach Ertz and Jaden Daniels have a special connection, man. Like that's the type of security blanket you want for a young quarterback to have that type of tight end. And he just checks down to him. He's got trust in him. He knows what he's doing. So if it's a PPR, I think you got much more upside with Zach Ertz than what you would have with some of these other guys. Like I've got Kraft on one of my teams as like a backup tight end. I don't even think he really got that many targets this past weekend, but obviously that's because the Packers didn't need to pass the ball. They had that game done in the first quarter, right? Like it was done with. But if I'm still on the Kyle Pitts bandwagon, I think he can be good. Yeah, I think he's just got to have the right situation, man. It's like a talk, like me and the Cowboys. One day you'll prove me right, and I feel like there's so much talent there. Like it can't just be this bad.
I would love to believe it. I would love to believe that one too.
So real quick, so let's take a look. Let's take a look at the schedule. Who's playing who here? So you have Ertz is playing against the Packers on Tuesday night, or Thursday night, I should say, Thursday night. So Ertz is playing Green Bay, and then we have Pitts playing against the Vikings at Minnesota. And then who else do we have? The Bills and Green Bay. Oh, so Green Bay is playing against Washington there. So that's a double one. And then Kincaid, the Bills, are playing the Jets. So they're all away games pretty much, except for the Kraft one's going to be at home. So
the only thing that scares me about the Zach Ertz one is that the kid McKinney in Green Bay's backfield, like he's a safety, but that guy will definitely take someone out of the game. You know what I mean? He's someone that I think that's one of those kind of matchup things that you kind of worry about. And I'm with you on Tucker Kraft. He doesn't really get a whole lot of like passes his way, opportunities, but they love him around the goal line. So I mean that's one of those things where you could have 3 catches and 2 touchdowns. So I mean that's one of those things you kind of risk reward type of situations. I mean Kincaid is in a situation right now where I think it's just pretty much him and Keon Coleman that's on the outside. There's not really a whole lot besides maybe they want they'll check downs they have to worry about for Cook, but like you said, Cook might be banged up in this game too, so he might, who knows what's gonna happen with him. And I'm totally off Kyle Pitts. So he shows me for about a month. Like he's had one game. You know what I mean? He's had one game, and then he'll disappear for 6 weeks, and then he'll have like a game, and then obviously, but then he gets drafted. I mean, I've seen him progressively get drafted from like a top 30 to like 50, 60 to not even getting drafted anymore. This last like 3 years. So I mean, he's one of those guys like you gotta, like you said, you gotta prove me right. I mean, he's gotta prove me wrong at this point because I mean that right now would be a good week because Drake London's a little bit banged up, Darnell Mooney's a little banged up. So this would be a good week for Kyle Pitts to actually just show up.
So knowing what the matchups are and like again knowing that it's full PPR, I still think Zach Ertz gives you the most upside because the Packers are going to bring a lot of pressure, right? They're going to pressure the quarterback. That's what this defense is made for right now. Your tight end is going to be a perfect security blanket. So I think Jaden Daniels to Ertz, in my opinion, I think that would be the best route to go.
I think that's the safest play as well. Behind that, I think Kincaid is the safer one.
I think
Kyle Pitts.
I like Kincaid. Honestly, I'd go with Kincaid. That's just me because I think right now it's really just there's just 2 options on the outside. Really, it's just him and unless Knox gets a little bit of run, I think it's really Kincaid and Keon Coleman. But Shakir kind of gets thrown in there a little bit. But I mean that's just he's kind of more of a gadget guy.
Kincaid
I think.
Go ahead, finish up.
No, I just think Kincaid's that dude. I mean Pitts, if you want to be crazy and really put a little gamble out there, I think he's the one that's probably going to get the most opportunity possibly. Because I mean, Michael Penix looks like he wants to throw the ball around a little bit, especially last week. I mean, he was pretty close to 30 points. So, but there's top 2 targets on the outside kind of banged up that he might get that, the opportunity. And that's what you look for me. When I got options like this guy has like about 4 options right there, I look to see who's going to get the most opportunity for me. Who do I think is going to get the most opportunity to actually get all the targets, and then I go from there.
And it's Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, that's what sucks, and that's what kills me. Like I'm like, really? So like that's for me. It's Kincaid, but definitely Kyle Pitts is someone that I would be looking at to see if how much Drake London, how much London is hurt, how much Darnell Mooney, is coming back, and if those guys are really banged up and they're pretty light on the outside, and I might throw, especially early, I might throw a little flyer.
Like Tommy says, young quarterbacks love throwing to their tight end. Who doesn't love a tight end?
hey, pause.
Wow.
So hey now, so we got another tight end question. Oddly enough, coming in. Gosh, this whole episode's been about tight ends. So yeah, that's why we had to have you on, Mike. That's why we had to have you on.
We needed a Cowboy fan for that.
Yeah, because we tight unlike y'all.
Keep it tight. Keep it tight. Keep it tight.
Tight unlike y'all,
You're the
man.
one
You're
that
San
rides on
Francisco.
the
Come
steel
on now.
horse. So just like the song says, just like Bon Jovi sings about. So, but anyways, another tight end. Who do you prefer here between Juwan Johnson, who was the week 1 darling for tight ends there, especially he was the hot waiver wire option if you need a tight end, or do you trust that Njoku will have a bounce back in week 2? So which one do you like there?
I think Fannin has proved that he's probably going to be taking over some targets from Njoku, man. So I think I as much as I love David Njoku, because like he's one of these dudes, like he'll just go off like for a game, then take like a week or 2 or 3 weeks off, then come back and go off again, right? As much as I love David Njoku, like I think Fannin's going to take some targets away from him. Like I was real surprised to see that he wound up being the number 1 tight end option there, especially for a guy like Joe Flacco, because you normally see like the older quarterbacks go with the guy that they can rely on. Njoku's that guy. Like it's I hate saying this because I love him so much, but I don't think you go with Njoku anymore. So you got to go with
really.
Like for me, I think that Juwan Johnson could have had a bigger game too, but didn't he drop that ball right in the end zone? I mean, that guy is someone that's he was to me like Fannin and Juwan Johnson or something like Isaiah Likely last year. Isaiah Likely had 10 catch, 150 yards, and like 2 touchdowns, almost a third one. Week 1 last year, and then it disappeared. So for me, I still got to go with someone that I know is going to be there. I think Njoku's, he might have had that one game he only gets 3 or 4 catches, but like you said, he's that veteran that, I mean, who knows if he kind of got game planned out a little bit, but I still got to go with David Njoku. He's someone that's, like you said, that will explode for that game more times than not. I didn't even know who the standing kid was until week 1. You know what I mean? And the same thing with Juwan Johnson. Like, I mean, he's 6'7", supposed to have been that guy that you can use over the middle and everything like that and run the red zone. And he had a chance last week and didn't bring the, you can be the biggest man in the world, but if you can't catch the ball, it doesn't matter. So
now
that's
you're just
something
going to be a blocker tight end. So,
yeah.
Well, guys, we are pretty much at our mark here. So I know you all have better things to do than to just sit around here and talk football with me. So,
but I do grab a beer. Keep going.
Yeah, I've got to talk to T Nick. If I can talk to T Nick and see if I can get an extra 30 minutes at least, that would be awesome. So, if so, then I'll definitely get that into the works there. But like I said, I do appreciate you guys joining me tonight. And Mike Tipton, please go ahead and give a shout out. Let the good people of the clubhouse know where they can find you every day of the week here.
At Mr. Tipton 33 on all social media. You can follow me there. Also, the Tipping Point with Mike Tipton, Monday through Friday. I know I didn't do a show today. It was because I had to be at a baseball stadium at 8 o'clock in the morning. Don't judge me for my job options and things like that. God damn it. Look, sometimes you just got to work, okay? And you work, you do what you got to do.
I'm a little jealous. I wanted to be at a baseball stadium at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Hey, I'm saying, I'm an audio engineer for a minor league baseball team and for a minor league soccer team. It's a fun ass job, but sometimes you got to be there at 8 o'clock in the morning.
I mean, that sounds horrible because usually I work at 6 when I'm actually. So I mean.
So yeah, Jay Grizz, I agree. That's why we need another extra 30 minutes for sure. So like I said, I'll talk to T Nick about that. But real quick, the mouth from the Bay. Any final words that you have for our people here in the clubhouse?
No, just week 1 is in. It's in the books. So I mean, now it's homework time. You know what I mean? Like you said, like after Monday Night Football is over, sure. I don't know if I'm like anybody else. I'm already looking at my phone. I'm already looking at my defense, my who's going to be hurt, like who didn't make it throughout this week 1. You know what I mean? Like what bench player would kind of exploded? What can I look for? Who's in the dang free agent pool that I might be able to pick up? So I mean, don't be that guy who sleeps in on Wednesday and wakes up at 10 o'clock and all your free agents are gone. So I mean, it's that time. Set your clock. Set 5 of them, because you're gonna have to wake up early to make sure you get those guys in. Especially if you're like our boy, and you got 7 leagues. So I mean, yeah, you got some homework to do.
Yeah, no, most definitely. Week 2 starts tomorrow, guys. So I mean, hey, you can't delay and stall for too long. So, but anyway, guys, thank you for joining me again here. I really do appreciate it. Be safe out there. Be good out there. But if you can't be good, well, damn it, at least be good at it.
You got to decide whether you're a wolf or a sheep.
Yeah, it was bad this week.
If you won, you're a wolf.
This has been a Chicago Clubhouse Network production.
All right, y'all.
Everyone, be safe.
And now it's all over.